Hello, viewers. This is Kenneth Enoruwa. Welcome you to Center-ECD Enterprise TV. The channel is here for you to leverage upon to grow your business and improve on yourself. Nothing you can achieve without self-development and the right mindset. You can get all of these in the channel, and I hope you are trying to get in value. Do feel free to share any of the resources in this channel with your network. You never know who will benefit and how it will help everyone out there. Yeah, we'll be talking about debt, and we've just a little background about debt. I remember in the last episode, if you've not seen it, try to search for it in this platform, find it. We concluded two things about debt. Debt have to be paid back, and most times it's paid back with interest. So it's only a foolish person that uses debt anyhow. I mean, if you have a bank loan, for instance, you are mindful how you spend the money because you know it's not for you. It comes with very big consequences in most cases. And number two, you often have to pay back with a consideration, which is interest or additional item or additional favor. It becomes very instructive that as a wise man, you need to understand debt. If you don't have proper understanding, then application of debt becomes a problem. You become a slave, a perpetual slave to the lender. When you don't manage debt properly, you become perpetually indebted to the lender and you just become a slave and you are not in control. You can easily be pushed left and right. And then you lose concentration. You become so worried. You lose your sense. You can't even rest and have peace. Just because you've not understood what debt is, and then you fall into debt, become indebted, and you remember forever remain imprisoned. But we don't want that for you. So it's good for you to understand that debt itself is not an enemy. Debt itself is not supposed to be a disruption to us. When the scripture did advise in Proverbs 22 that every borrower should understand that you are a slave to the lender. The rich rules over the poor. It will always be like that. But that does not say that debt or borrowing is bad. Remember, scripture says for every debt, it has to be paid back in full. You see what I mean? So the scripture didn't go against borrowing. After all, the rich man that was embarking on a journey did give money to his servants. And then the servant did trade with the money and they made so much. They gave back to the master and the master gave them more. Now, what is silent in that scripture in Matthew is that the scripture did not tell us that they gained so much more than just gaining extra money. They gained more network. They had better opportunities by doing business with great men and women. The rich will constantly rule over the poor because of the mind game. And that is what this podcast is all about. It's all about using debt to your advantage. Many of you have got so many things already with you that you can use as collateral to attract loans and debt. And then from the debt, you can generate more assets that can increase your net worth as well. And then increase your network in the end. And then your access to more funds begins to expand and enlarge, and you are able to increase your overall, your capacity to attract more. The problem most of us have is that you see debt as an enemy. We don't understand how to use debt in our advantage or to advance our financial freedom journey. The first I would like to share with you very quickly is that first, understand debt, that debt is a friend. So the next time you go borrowing, be very composed. Have you ever been in a business conversation with the wealthy people? Or have you ever listened to the wealthy man speak or the rich talk about business and investment? Have you ever listened to somebody calling billions of dollars or billions of naira and then they say it so casually? It's risky. It's not like there's no danger, but the truth is debt is a friend. And so when you are borrowing or signing that paperwork, you sign it with the consciousness that this is something you need to advance your next level. So never you borrow to fund consumption. Never you borrow to fund lifestyle. Every amount you borrow, for every debt you create, make sure there's a corresponding asset. It is better, for instance, to have shares, money in shares or stocks in very vibrant economies, and the monies you have invested in that stock is a loan, than you borrow money from a bank or an institution or individual, and all you can point towards to is foodstuff or expenditure or consumption in your stomach. Then you are enslaving yourself much more to the borrower. For you to use debt in your advantage, you need to learn how to put debt into things that are able to appreciate in value and are able to generate more income for you. If you can't do that, what you're doing is that you are endangering your future and future earnings. You are putting your life at risk. Very common debt channel I will introduce to businesses is overdraft. Simple overdraft, simple bank loan. If you don't understand how those two work, you put yourself in more trouble. Of what use, for instance, if you've got a business with good cash flow and a trading business and you make money on a daily basis, instead of borrowing and paying interest on a monthly basis, you can buy into overdraft, and within the period, you pump back the money because you have the liquidity. So for businesses that have liquidity, for individuals that have constant flow of income, all you need is overdraft, not a term loan or a bank loan. Because overdraft most times is like trading with the bank resources and you're not paying interest on it. So, but if you take a loan, you definitely have to pay back interest on the loan. But if you do overdraft and within the business cycle, you are able to pay back whatever you have used. For instance, if I have overdraft of 30 million naira and I pull out 20 million naira within the cycle, 30 days period, whatever I do the first 1 week with that money, the second week or third week or fourth week, if I pull back that 20 million, the balance 10 million, obviously, I'm not going to pay interest on the money I've used. It is when the month elapses and it's a fall, I've withdrawn from my overdraft and I pay interest on the amount overdrawn. The point I'm saying is understanding debt. Debt gives you the leverage, opportunity to have access to cash or funds to fund your investment ideas. And those ideas, investments you have put money into, you can further use those assets to generate and attract more funds in the future. If you understand these dynamics, which is a bit complex but very simple, if you take your time to study it and understand it, or write us, we can give you some advice. You find out that debt itself is not a problem. It's how debt is applied and managed that is the problem. And we are writing for you. The next step you take, seek advice and make sure you use it to your advantage. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.